So what is the state of Yu-Gi-Oh! For November, mid-2025? And make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. There's going to be a lot of information and a lot of my thought process in this video, so you're gonna have to watch the whole thing. I'm sorry. So what is the state of the game right now? This includes the market, state of, the franchise itself, in my opinion, and, everything. Market, meta, state of the IP. So starting off within the meta. You guys know I've not been a huge fan of this. We just had an emergency ban list a little while back. It wasn't exactly the worst thing to happen to the game, but at this point in time, it's also not been the best. Konami's done this little thing where they held up our next core set all the way back to February of 2025, which has, put a strain on us coming off of, set releases back to back to back. It creates this little bit of a grinding format that, it's yummy, it's Mitsurugi, and it's a little bit taxing on the average player. Draco Tail has suddenly been figured out as one of the better decks, and, Yummy Mitsurugi and it are the two decks that are kind of clashing right now. Within the meta itself, it's not a bad thing. I know players have kind of wished for Mitsurugi to stop dragging things along, but the problem is we have the legendary modern decks coming next year, and one of those products is being dedicated to Mitsurugi. So now there's the entire, debate and process here of, since Konami is making this product dedicated to this, are we going to see Mitsurugi being a World's contender, for 2026? Are they going to slap some new cards in there? We don't have the answers to this. But from the meta standpoint right now, it is so boring. But, this is just a reflection kind of what we had with tier format years ago. The only difference was there's more movements within this format, within the tech choices, that I think is more exciting than what we had previously seen with tier format, at least in my opinion. Little movements in card choices can actually go a long way. So, you heard me mention the modern legendary decks in Mitsurugi. So, we are getting that product. It's going to be a huge banger in 2026. But there is the whole, products kind of being spaced out awkwardly. We have the Chronicles decks coming now, which is Konami's marketing more within these, you're going to buy the cards out of the box instead of trying to pull them. Holy crap, they're doing what every other TCG is doing at the moment, people. Give it up. Konami has realized that you want your player base to grow. You can't keep making these dog shit sets and watching them, die on shelves. You have to create products that actually have a value to them. And it's such a strange concept. I think that the Chronicles decks are a fantastic thing. I love them, the all-foil editions. Even if the Charmer one doesn't do too great, possibility of good cards or cheap price points might entice you to want to pick them up and have them. There's also the idea of we can print cards in the sets for the Chronicles decks, so you can actually get support within the sets with the Chronicles decks, and it kind of goes hand in hand. There's also the concept of these legendary decks that they've been doing. They've been knocking it out of the park with these legendary decks. If you really think that the legendary decks are a terrible product, that's crazy, man. Because getting all the Malcharmies handed to you on a silver platter was great. Getting all these Dominus cards handed to you on a silver platter was great. So this brings me to my next point. Robbie, you're really, 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 being happy about Konami. So this brings our dear old friend over there in the corner. Power creep. And this is the thing that I don't really get to talk about too much. If they're going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching on the reprint equity, what the fuck's gonna sell the core sets? Enter Forbidden Crown. Enter whatever Konami has planned. on the back burner for, you know, additional broken cards that you're going to have to spend $90 on to get. You hear that? You hear that? That's the churning of the power creep button and an inevitable ban list to crater everything around it to force you to buy those cards. That is the motto that we've all forgotten in recent times. We're all being spoiled by these huge reprints, and we're getting excited for the future of the game. And I mean, this is honestly, you know, it's for the future, but I mean, you gotta zoom down here on the lens. You know, in the moment right now, we're excited for these reprints. You know, we're like, hey, you know, we're going to go sell them all Charmies to buy commons. We're going to sell our Dominus cards because, you know, the allure of these getting reprinted months is there. You know, these reprints are affecting the market, but it's also, it's getting players too complacent. They're getting too excited. They're not seeing that, you know, the power creep stick is coming, and it's going to brutally, you know, make us very, very sad when it comes in here. So that brings us to the state of the market. All right, so you have all these products getting reprinted. You know, are people getting kind of worried about this? Quarter centuries are going up in price. All right, if you've not paid attention to that. QCRs, it's happening, people. I've heard a lot of people go, well, it's quarter centuries, they're bad rarity, they're never going to go up. Okay, man. Anyway, so this is why looking at the market constantly every day and seeing the wave of certain cards going up in price, yeah, totally, there's nothing there. It's just supply and demand doing its upwardly duties. At this stage, I think the only thing that, well, first of all, I think the market is in an okay place right now. Older sealed product is kind of doing well. Tins this year are okay. They didn't totally, I think you can get tin bundles for $13. It's not too terrible. The only thing, oh, wait. There's somebody over there next to the power creep stick. Oh, God. Oh, God, it's the full arts. Oh, no. Serialized cards, too? So, we still live in ignorant bliss right now in November. Now, we don't know. We don't know what's coming. And this is great, man. Because when you don't know, you can keep your expectations adjusted to this. You can be prepared to shit on the floor and be surprised and cry. Or you can just be ready to watch the Pokemon Scalper bros coming into this game, trying to pull the 69 Dark Magician Girl XD, get it graded, try to sell it for 10,000 doll hairs on eBay. It's coming. You can sit here and you can try to deny it, but we live in ignorant bliss at this point in time. I expect details probably around Jump Festa. That would make the most sense, is where they hit it last year. At least for, you know, the Sky Striker alts and things like that. I think overall the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, I mean, we just did a collab with Monster Strike for, you know, craziness for what that's worth. You know, we had the Hello Kitty stuff. You know, we had Nike this year with the Red Eyes Club. That Red Eyes is $400, $500 now, by the way. Should have bought them when they were $290, but, you know, I didn't believe in it. I still don't really believe in it at this stage. It's just, it looks cool, but it's not really worth it to me. At this stage, there's a lot of shit coming. The next couple of months are going to be massive defining turning points in the game. Even with Phantom Revenge is on the horizon here too, people. And, you know, the next set should be marking support for those decks. So, you know, if you're like, all these cards are going to be terribly priced, it's really just going to depend on if Konami tries to make those decks meta. And honestly, I've seen what they can do with some of these deck build sets. I wouldn't be surprised. And, you know, it might take us until April to see that happen, but this is the time where you can see 6 months out in advance. And I talk very much about this being the opportunity times to jump on a lot of things. Whether or not you choose to do so, it'll really just depend on, you know, what goes where when we see these reveals. So, game is in an interesting place. Guys, have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.